You may have seen a recent video of a guy on YouTube who cut himself while playing real-life Fruit Ninja. The video's gotten a lot of views, over 1 million, and I figured it's a good opportunity to talk about sword safety. I'm not going to do the obvious thing and rant about how stupid it was and whatnot. It seems really unnecessary. I mean, he gets the point. He went through a lot of pain and medical procedures, and I don't think he'll ever forget that. And plenty of people have already told him how stupid he is and whatever. I mean, come on. Just cut him some slack. He's paid for his mistake, and we can move on. But it's still good to talk about basic safety. So I understand it's tempting to just grab some swords or long knives or whatever and have at it, cut some stuff, have fun. I did that too before joining a proper martial arts club. It's generally not a good idea. It's not what I would recommend. However, I understand it is fun and you may not be able to get training from a competent instructor nearby. There may not be any club or school. And so, yes, I totally understand that. But there are a few basic safety rules that you should be aware of. So the way it happened is he was doing this dual wield cross cut. And this is very dangerous because both of your arms are in front. Your blades are right there. And if you're slightly out of sync or misalign something, this is right there to be cut on either side. And this is what can happen. So do not ever try dual wielding blades unless you're a trained martial artist. And if you are, I don't have to tell you because you already know that you can do it because you've started with wooden practice weapons and you've spent a lot of time practicing the forms and you've learned from a competent instructor and all of that. So in that case, you know. If that's not the case, do not ever do it. It's too dangerous. So if you have to swing a sharp sword around, which again is not a good idea unless you've been taught how to do it safely, and generally you should always start with blunt blades or wooden swords or anything like that until you're confident and skilled enough that you can handle those without endangering yourself. So generally, when in doubt, don't do it. However, if you're going to, there are a few safety measures that are important to take. For one, if you're cutting with a one-handed sword, this arm has no business being there at all. During sparring, yes, sometimes it's okay to have the hand ready if you're going for grappling. But otherwise, even during sparring, it's better to have it on your back or on the hip. I actually made an entire video explaining why, but this is one of the reasons. If it's out here, if it's floating out and you get distracted and you shoot your arm out, there it is. So that's one thing. The other thing is always make sure what direction you're swinging in and what is there. For example, if you have somebody standing right here over your shoulder with a camera, tell them to go away, basically. Because if you overswing, overcommit, boom, oh shit, right into the other person. Even if you think they're far enough away, don't have anybody in front of you or in general in the direction of the swing, because if you slip, this is going right there. Or if you hit whatever target you're cutting at and the blade breaks, which can happen, the tip flies right in their face, and it's not going to be a good time, of course. Do not cut towards your leg. So if you're cutting from your right to your left side, for example, do not place your left leg in front, because then you're actually cutting towards your left leg, and if you mess it up, it's going right into your leg. Do not flail your arms wildly. The best and safest cut is not this limp arm action, but it's something that has proper structure where the arm and the shoulder and to an extent the hip all move together and you're powering the cut with your core mostly. So that's not only going to result in a cleaner cut because there's less wobble, there's less movement if you use just the arm. It's also going to be more powerful. It also allows you to handle even heavier swords better, and it's safer because then you know exactly what the trajectory is going to be. You know, it starts here, it ends there. Instead of this, kind of wild flailing hacking. Get a feel for the blade and be aware of where it is. What I mean by that is don't do this, for example, where you cock back for the swing and you bring it so far back that you cut your own back or even stab yourself. That applies especially to things like tomahawks with a spike at the end. There's a spike at the end, just don't do this. You're gonna impale yourself. Very important, especially when other people are there, control the point. For example, if you've just thrown a cut and you want to turn over to somebody, talk to them, or maybe you're waiting your turn if there are multiple people cutting, bring the sword either down with the point straight down or straight up. Don't run around like this. And this is especially important in the house, for example. Like, don't walk around a corner like this, because this is how you impale somebody. If somebody walks around the corner and you just walk around like this, then they might actually walk onto your point. So make sure that you keep that controlled, keep it pointing up. You can lean it against your shoulder if it's not too damn long. Just don't do this and then run around people like that. Just make sure you're holding it properly. If there are pets, don't allow them in the area where you're cutting. And if they do show up, stop what you're doing immediately. The last thing you want is, as you're swinging, a dog to jump in and be cut in half. I also have to say, if you have the impulse to throw a sword cut like this, don't do this. Don't do any of this. Put it down, move away. This is not going to end well. And that's pretty much all I have to say right now. So please be safe. Get training if you can. I'll leave a link down below that you can use to check if there are any HEMA clubs in your area, that's historical European martial arts, or if there's kendo or kenjutsu or a variety of other martial arts, do that. Thanks for watching.